Welcome guys to Beginning Soccer. My name is Mr. Jonathan or Mr. Hernandez. What the techniques that I want to show you for this class are going to range from beginner all the way to intermediate. But the first trick that I want to show you guys is how to get the best soccer control, or how to start your ball control as much as you can to improve your overall control with the soccer ball. So one of the things that you're going to receive in your soccer kit is just a soccer ball, and you also get the soccer net. But for this class, we're just going to use the soccer ball to start. You can also watch the second class that I have called Soccer Clinics, and you can see some of the examples that I used for ball control. So the first technique that I want to show you is just the beginning things of how to get a good enough ball control, and that's just using your 2 feet. Your 2 feet to running back and forth. So for example, if you're in an open field like this one, you can place the ball anywhere you like, and then picture in your head where's a good stop. So for example, in my case, it's from here all the way to the other side of the area that I'm playing with. And what you're gonna do is when you go forward, try to use the foot that you use the most. So for example, in mine is my dominant foot is my right foot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push the ball forward, going all the way to the end of the area, and then once I come back, I'm gonna try to use my left foot. I'll show you. So what you want to do is you want to push. So you're gonna step with your left foot, and you're gonna push the ball with your right foot. Because I'm a right footer. If you're a left footer, you're gonna do the opposite. But don't worry, you're gonna try both feet going 2 ways. So I'll show you. Then once you reach to the other side, I'm gonna use my left foot this time. My left foot to push the ball going forward. So for this, when you push, what I want you to do is switch your foot as if you're gonna kick the ball with your right foot. But this time, instead of pushing it with this foot, you're gonna push it with this foot. Got it? Alright, so you're gonna practice going back and forth using your 2 feet. Now the reason why you want to do that is because when you're out there, when you're in a soccer game or a small scrimmage game, you want to be ready to use both feet. Now the reason why is because you can be placed on the left side of the field and you're going to be forced to use your left foot. Or when you're on the right side of the field, you're going to be forced to use your right foot. So you're just getting ready to use both feet at the same time, because it's going to be really important when you do that. Remember, keep track of how many routines you do. What I want you to do is I want you to do 5 routines. So five times going back and forth. So once you go up and then you come back, that's 1. You're gonna try to do that 5 times and keep track of it on a notebook or on your phone or on your computer. All right, the second technique that I want to show you, it's just going, once you go to a certain location, what I want you to do is stop the ball and then turn around and then use the other foot. So it's basically adding on to what I already showed you. Let me show you. You're going forward, stop. The second one, you're gonna add on to what I already showed you. So for example, you're gonna take the ball with your right foot or your dominant foot. You're gonna take it to a certain spot. I pick in my head half the field. Once I pick the location that I wanna stop, what I want you to do is just put your feet and then turn around and then use the other foot going backwards. Let me show you. So once you push, stop, and then I'm gonna push going this way. And then stop. Once you do that, I want you to do the same thing 5 times. I want you to do it 5 times. First practice what I showed you once, and then add on to it. All right? For the second thing that I want to show you is, once you get in the habit of doing that, what I want you to do is find 2 objects that you find in the ground, and I'll show you how to make an easy stopping points for you to add on to what you already know. So for example, I found this piece of wood. I'm gonna place it right in the soccer net, and then I'm gonna grab my soccer net and I'm gonna maybe walk a couple of feet and place it here. And then the last thing what I want you to do is find another object, so 3. So this white piece of like paper that I found. And now in my head, I already know 3 stopping points. So we can try to practice what we already know. And we're just gonna basically build off our inventory with different techniques. So when we play soccer, we don't just go straight. We also do turns and we do different ways while running with the soccer ball. One of the things that I want to show you is something called zigzag. So when you're running, I already picked my 3 locations in this soccer field. And then what I want you to do is go in a zigzag. And the most important thing for this is to try to avoid those 3 things. Let me show you. So you push forward. Go in a zigzag. One of the things that I also recommend is when you go forward, use your strong leg or your dominant leg. And then when you come back, try to use the less dominant leg, just so you can also get in the habit of using your 2 feet. You can also go forward using your dominant leg and then coming back using the same leg. Come back and you're back in the same starting point. You can also use your same leg, dominant leg, going forward, and then when you come back, use your same dominant leg to come back. And that's just a way for your body kind of just to get used to, and also to get a feel for the field and also for your soccer ball. Once you've done that, I want you to do it 5 times. So do 5 sets of those, and then when you get a little bit more comfortable, and if you're also thinking that this is an easy thing for you to do, you can also make these stopping points a little bit shorter. So for example, half the distance, and try to practice with that. So I can pick up my log or my stopping point and just place it there just to make it shorter. And then I can also grab the other one and make it shorter. And then you can also add on to it, so that way you have more zigzags going around. And that's gonna really help you when you're running back and forth. You can try it. All right. You can also you should record that.
Huh?
You can also walk. You can also walk going forward, and then going backwards. You can also walk. If you think it's a bit more challenging running back and forth, you can just walk it. But remember, when you're walking, just make sure you're touching the ball as much as you can. And then when you're going backwards, make sure you're touching the ball with your other foot, just so you can get in the habit of using both. And then you stop. That's pretty much it, what I want to show you for ball control. Those are the few tips and tricks that I want to show you for the first class. So one of the things that I also want to teach you is how to stop the ball and how to pass the ball to your friend or to another of your teammates. So for example, in your head, picture this. You have the soccer ball and you're ready to pass the ball to another person in your team. Think about it. Think about the way that you kick the ball or you pass the ball. There are multiple ways that I've seen a few students and a few people pass the ball that if you change those habits or you change those techniques, it's going to ball accurately. For example, I've seen a lot of students and a lot of people when they try to pass the ball, they use their inside of their foot. So using this, that you can do that, but it becomes less accurate when you do. So what you want to do is you want to use the side of your foot. When you use the side of your foot, it becomes easier for you to pass anything and pass the ball more accurately. For example, going straight, sideways, going different directions. And also remember, you can always find a side of a wall or the side of something to try to practice how you pass the ball. In my case, I saw that there was this big piece of wood on the side, and I'm gonna try to pass the ball using the inside of my foot, and then I'm gonna stop the ball also. So when you try to pass the ball, what you want to do is, remember, use the inside of your foot to try to pass the ball. And when you pass the ball, you try to plant the less dominant leg first. That way you get balance when you use the other side of your foot. So for example, you plant the less dominant leg first, and then with this leg, you get that momentum so you can pass the ball. You use the inside of your leg. And now the reason why I'm using the side of this wall is because I don't need another person to practice this with. I can always practice it by myself. For example, I want you to pass the ball and then stop it, and then pass the ball and stop it. And then your head picture where you want to pass the ball, so that way you have like an accurate thing in your head where you know where you want to pass it. So for example, I want to pass the ball right where that black square is, black rectangle, and then I stop it. And then next I'm gonna picture my head in the center between the two black squares. And then I'm gonna try to do this every single time, so that way I practice my accuracy, and I also practice a way for me to pass the ball at different angles. What I want you to do is, I want you to do this at least 10 times with your dominant leg, and then once you're done with that, I want you to do it with the other side of your foot, because I want you to get used to using your 2 feet. And the same thing, you're gonna plant, this time if you're gonna use your left leg, plant your right foot, and then shoot it with your left leg. And remember, use the side of your foot so it can be more accurate. And then you stop it. And then picture in your head where you want to shoot it. I want to shoot it at that left square, left rectangle. And then I stop it. And then I'm going to try to shoot it right in the middle. And then I stop it. Once you get in the habit of using your 2 feet and you practice using those routines, you can make it a bit more challenging. And one of the things that you can make it more challenging is kicking the ball a little bit harder, so that way it makes it almost realistic, as if somebody was passing you the ball. Let me show you. So for example, you're gonna try to pass the ball for this one. You're gonna try to pass the ball more harder, so that way, you know, it's gonna one, feel more realistic, and two, it's gonna make you move a lot more. So I'm gonna picture in my head all the angles that I want to do, and basically I want to kick the ball on the left side, then on the right side, so that way I'm moving multiple ways at the same time. And then you open it up carefully. I know it can be a bit tricky, but there's a secret. Once you have it spread open like this, you grab it in the middle and you open it like a net. Then what you do is you get the soccer ball and you try to put it inside while pushing forward. So once you have it like this, the last step is pretty simple. You just push it down to keep it in place.